It's gonna cost us probably $2,500 to over pour this 20 by 20 garage. It's gonna have a perfectly level concrete floor, and it'll make a really good shop for one of our tenants. We have a nice 6 mil vapor barrier, so it's not gonna have a musty feel. We put number 3 rebar, 18 inches on center, tied it off. We're able to tailgate this pour and save a few $100s on a pump. Access is nice. If we were in a backyard, we wouldn't have this. Another reason why we like alley or corner access to these lots. Welcome back to video 2 in this series. Let's get right to it. Little update inside. Got Barnesy, the apprentice, getting some work done. Andy's finishing up plumbing. We've got all of our new lines run. Got some paint on the wall here so we don't have to mask off and paint behind our new mini split unit. Dylan running the line set up into the attic here. Getting the siding buttoned up. Got a nice dry day here to work. Finally got Andy on site. Do a bunch of plumbing. We're stoked to have him. A plumber is harder to find than a doctor right now. Enclosing this carport into a garage. We've got Pat on site today, our trusty concrete guy. If you watched our How to Build an ADU series, you know Pat well. We have some uneven concrete in this carport, and we're going to level it off, put down a 6 mil plastic. We're gonna pour over it so it'll be nice and flat. We're gonna frame it in with studs, 2 foot on center, and put up a board and batten siding to add value, to add good storage space. For a tenant that wants to put all their stuff away, we don't want to see it from the back alley or from the back unit we're building. 20 by 20, so we'll have 400 square foot of dried, enclosed garage, parking, and storage space. We're gonna put a 3.0 man door on the front and the back, and then a 10-foot garage overhead door. So the front house can have alley access to the garage, and there'll still be room for parking on our back unit. It's one thing we always have to keep in mind when we're laying these units out with alley access. Do we designate the whole back half of the lot to the small unit, or do we do some kind of shared access agreement like we're doing here, so the front house can still access the garage, but there's still gonna be room for the ADU and parking. We're paying about $160 a yard delivered for concrete. A finisher makes anywhere from $300 to $500 a day. So it's gonna cost us probably $2,500. We did stub in some lines here in case at a later date we wanted to add a bathroom. We put those on 2% grade, wrapped them. This would just be for a toilet and a vanity later. If we can stand out in the market by providing our tenants with a nice new enclosed permitted 20 by 20 garage / shop area, it'll be a good multi-purpose, and it's gonna be a great space for our future tenants. We're about 4 hours into the conversion of this carport into a garage. We framed it 2x4s every 24 inches, and we threw up some OSB 7/16 ornated strand board, and then give it a quick wrap with this Tyvek drain wrap. We're gonna throw the windows in, trim them out, and run lap siding around this whole thing. The city building official was just here. He walked through the whole house. We pulled permits for rough plumbing, rough mechanical, as well as a little bit of structural and some like for like swaps on a few different windows and doors and fixtures. Remember, every time, pull the proper permits. I can't tell you how many people I've met over the years that have done hundreds of flips and they don't pull the permits for their work. We want to make sure that it's all recorded, it's all permitted, and it's all checked for fire and life safety, so our tenants are safe, or if you're going to sell your property, the buyers are safe and you're protected. It doesn't take a whole lot longer and cost a whole lot more money to do it right. So always consider permits on your heavy rehabs. Trying to take advantage of the good weather today. AR's on the gun. We're shooting this house with 1 coat of primer. We use Miller grip, and then we'll use 2 coats of body color, 3 coats total. We like to tint the primer the same color as the body, so it'll go a little bit farther. And we want to make sure that our overnight temperatures don't dip below 50 degrees. So we're right on that edge. We're making sure that we get all of our painting done by about 2 or 3, so it has a chance to set up before it gets cool tonight. The rain showed up right on time. We start shooting these exterior walls, and we get this little squall that came in. Anyways, part of construction is building failure into your plan. So we're just scrambling around trying to keep everybody busy. The framing in and closing of the carport is going well. We're gonna put a couple of windows on this side. This is a single hung window, 3040. We're gonna throw a 3040 in here. First things we do is wrap our house wrap, and then we use this corrugated stretch fangible corner. 4 guys should take us about 8 or 9 hours to get this thing walled off, framed in, get the windows in, trimmed out, and sided today. Bam. We're on the home stretch of the siding of this garage here. We use a concrete lap siding. It's 8 1/4 with 7 inches to daylight. We pay about $2 a square foot for it. It's fire resistive, it loves paint, and it'll last a long time. Let the tenants dictate what you do with the property. If we keep our end user in mind and design to what they want, we're always going to win. We didn't want to spend $10,000 in closing this carport, putting a new roof on it, new garage door, but hopefully we'll stand out in the market and get somebody that wants to stay for a long time. We hate taking points off the board. All this galvanized water line under the house and in the walls was in working order. There was no leaks. But what happens is wherever the pipe is vertical, it's in decent shape. But areas where the pipe runs horizontal, sediment builds up and it binds to the inside of the pipe and it starts to rust from the inside out. And so what happens is we have either a 3/4 or a 1/2 inch line and it just constricts and gets really small. Tenants call and say, hey, my faucets aren't flowing well because the screens get clogged. And then we also get brown water. We would never want our tenants to have that. So we're gonna replace all the piping in this old structure. It's gonna cost us about $5,000 to do new hot and cold and drain line, but it's always worth it, especially when we're tearing into an old house. When we're done with this, we want to have all brand new systems, and part of that is replacing galvanized water line. You might be thinking, why is the garage door off-centered? And that's a great question. With infill housing, we have some really creative ways where we access property. And because this lot is gonna be split into 2, we're going to allow a 15-foot access easement along this north property line. And what that will allow is parking for the back ADU, and there'll still be access along the 15-foot strip of the property line. That's why we set this garage door hard to the left, so they can use the shared access agreement for the front house to get in and out of the garage on the alley. Moving along here with my buddy Jacob. He's a framing contractor. We've been friends for years. He's done a bunch of work with me. What would a tradesman, somebody like you that can frame and side and do anything on a job site, what could a young person today getting into the trades expect to make in maybe 3 to 5 years if they were motivated?
Motivated, it's limitless. Like your ceiling is wherever you want it to be. If you want to spend time with your family and kind of just mull about, you can make 50, 60,000. If you want to hustle, you can make 300, 400, 500, 600,000 plus. It's just a matter of how much effort you want to put into it.
300,000 plus? Damn, I'm in the wrong business. Thanks, Jacob. That's it for this week's video. Feel free to like and subscribe so we can continue to bring you awesome content just like this, practical tips, infill housing, ADU ground up builds, and how-tos.